Hello and welcome all, Atlas here, today with another awesome character to transition into the world of Skyrim. Today I have a really interesting one to those who desire the path of vampirism and to be one with the night and also one with the shadow. We will be creating not just a famous icon of horror but one of the most ruthless warlord military commanders to provide European history and Wallachia history. He is also known for being a national heroine of Romania, a highborn of Romanian court, an historical figure as well as Christian crusader, Vlad, sadist, cruel, infamous impalement, cunning, military brilliance, mad and insane person, but most of all, he is known to be an extremist. This man was more than just a versatile legend. He had many faces as politician, warrior, erudite, and also a well-learned gentleman when the occasion suited him, as well as a psychopathic murderer. Known as son of the dragon, the sadistic leader, and prince of Wallachia, and is famously known by the name of Vlad the Impaler and also Vlad III, but to the world he is known by another name. I give you Dracula. Now, as what Atlas usually does, I've been researching deeply into the internet, as well as looking into books and watching films, to give us an insight on our character. Dracula that we know of today, as a vampire who has lived for centuries and possesses great strength, and also has the ability to command animals, ship-shaped, and has some influences over the weather. As we know of him, he has weaknesses to garlic, the sign of a crucifix, even daylight, and holy water. According to the famous novelist Bram Stoker's Dracula that was published in 1897, is a masterpiece of dark gothic at its best, and it still gives me the creeps on reading about it today. In Bram Stoker's version of Dracula is a lot more creepier. However, what a lot of people don't know is that the basis for Count Dracula was based on a real man of Romanian court, and he's much more terrifying, bloodthirsty than his fictional version of the Nosferatu bloodsucker of fame as we know of him. Prince Vlad is one of the well-known Christian crusaders in Wallachia. He was also known for his brutality against torturing his enemies and also his own men. The reason why he was named Vlad the Impaler was his choice of preferred form of torture to assert his dominance. So one day he invited hundreds of members of rival families into his own home, knowing that his authority would be challenged. He had his guests stabbed while they were still twitching, and then he would put the bodies on spikes and he would leave them to die, and that's where the name of Vlad the Impaler comes from. He even ordered of a mass killing of 20,000 Ottomans in roundabout June 1462 as he retreated from a battle. Vlad ordered 20,000 defeated Ottomans to be impaled on wooden stakes outside the city of Targovist as a warning to who would invade, to his fear of ruling. Because doing all of these cruel acts, he saved not just Wallachia and Europe from being invaded by Turks and Ottomans. He was praised as a military leader by saving his own hometown. Recently, I went on Google to see where the birthplace of Vlad Dracula was, and I was amazed what I saw and digitally discovered. Vlad is based in Transylvania, Romania, a place of dense pine, impossible craggy cliffs and thick fogs. Even just the introduction of it just sounds so cool, right? But anyway, I discovered that the birthplace of Vlad Dracula is based in an area called Sisi Citadel. According to the stories about this place, that the mayor of Sisi offered shelter for Vlad's father and mother roundabout in 1431. Eventually they had to flee to Wallachia because it was invaded by Turks. Vlad Dracula lived here for several years before being sent to Istanbul as a hostage to secure his father's alliance to the Ottoman Empire. Today, it has been turned into a simple restaurant. Now we turn to our mythical forest of our childhood nightmare begins. I discovered that his original castle of Dracula was called Poneri Castle. It is located off the cliff tops of the Crossing Carpathian Mountains. Poneri Castle was built sometime in the 13th century. According to the stories of this place, that the castle had been abandoned until Vlad Dracula discovered it while out hunting one day in 1456. Vlad saw its potential as a highly defensible citadel and decided to repair it and improve the structure and turn it into one of his fortresses as a residence in 1462. The Ottomans captured the citadel, but Vlad escaped through a secret passage leading into the mountains. Then once again, it was abandoned. Over the centuries, it became too difficult to maintain due to erosion, earthquakes and landslides did a lot of significant damage to the fort. Even today, it's still not quite stable. But I managed to find something though. I found a replica of what could have looked like the Poneri Castle though. The castle we know of today, Legendary Bran Castle, or should I say, Dracula's Castle. Built as possibly one of the last standing relics of Count Dracula, this is where the legend began. The story about this place goes that Romania's bottomless tyranny, catastrophe and misery to supernatural evil. This is where the curse of Vlad Tepes started. He lost his wife, his dynasty and family and signed a document in order to bring a curse down against his enemies. And he promised that he will return. That was his curse. And his exact words were, "I will take revenge against those that have betrayed me." And since he said those words, something absolutely remarkable happened and still remains a mystery. Vlad's final resting place was supposed to have been buried at the Snagov Monastery near Bucharest. He was captured and killed by the Ottomans during a battle in 1477. Later on, they opened the coffin and they never found his body, which I think is completely creepy, right? I think it is anyway. In some ways, his reputation was so extreme that it haunts the entire world. And to be honest, he sounds like quite an insane, extraordinary being. I would really love to visit this place sometime, and definitely a one on the wish list, that's for sure. But anyway, moving on. For our Skyrim character bases, we'll be basing it off the ancient vampire Lord Harkon. I know pretty much he is the Dracula of Skyrim, no doubt, so I thought he was an excellent pick. But anyway, let's begin. Our tale begins with a young boy named Vlad Tepes. He spends a lot of his early years of his life in a Saxon village of Sisisorora with his father, who is known as Vlad II Dracul, was the ruler of Wallachia. Vlad's father was also in charge of his education as well as his brothers, and it was not the same with his younger brother Rudu. He much preferred the luxuries of being a prince instead. One day, Vlad's father gave him a ring to commemorate his induction to the Order of the Dragon and told him to wear it always. He told him that it will protect him from harm. In the 15th century, in a time of situated between Christianity Europe and the most in the lands of the Ottoman Empire, Transylvania and Wallachia, were frequently the scenes of the bloody battles of the Ottoman forces pushed westwards into the Europe, and the Christian Crusaders repulse the invaders or marched eastwards towards the Holy Land. Recently, Vlad's father was called to a diplomatic meeting with the Sultan Murad II. The Turkish Sultan was demanding his yearly tribute and 500 young boys as a prince of Romania. Vlad's father refused, and he was leaving for Tragovist to meet with the other country nobles and to convince them to unite against the Sultan. Many have made separate arguments with the Sultan, and they profit by their people. Are no better off than slaves. Greed is a force more powerful than any army. As long as we are forced to pay tribute, we will never truly be free. And held as hostages, However, Vlad's father was set under the condition that he leave his sons behind, and to prove his loyalty to the Ottoman Empire. After what seems like days of travel, we finally arrived at the Turkish camp. For the first time in my life, I saw the world naked and frigid. It terrified me. Do you know who I am? I am the Sultan, and you know why you are here. We are here because our father refused to pay tribute. Precisely. When he relents, you may return to Romania. Meanwhile, you have no reason to fear me. You will be allowed to keep your Jesus. You will also be taught Islam and any other useful things. The Sultan immediately took a deep interest in Rudu, and it was quite obvious. This one, you are a very lucky boy. When history will be written, I will be placed alongside Caesar and Hannibal. After that, I saw less and less of my brother, and after he came to me in tears the one night and told me that our father is dead. And I said to him, "Who told you that?" The Sultan did. And I said, "He's lying." Rudu then said father was murdered, buried, alive. They stabbed me, beat me, they tortured me, and they threatened to blind me unless I surrendered to the Sultan. Then the one day, as if there was a miracle, my suffering ended and I was given a horse, supplies, and ordered to go back to Romania. A few years later, Vlad is a fully grown man, and he is now known as Vlad the Impaler. His presence for impaling got him the famous nickname and ruled in Wallachia. Vlad was willing to do what he must to protect his country and to punish the criminals. He used many dreadful means of torture. He often ordered people to be skinned, boiled, decapitated, blind, strangled, hanged, burned, nailed, buried alive, or stabbed. Vlad never really moved on from his dreadful experience. He never forgot about his father's assassination. So he started to investigate and discovered that the real enemies are the Romanian nobles who supported the Turkish Sultan, and they were corrupted by greed. Because my father had fulfilled his mission and it was them who had everything to lose, and my mission is one of a patriot or a vengeful son, possibly both. My father was a great man, but his vision was utopian and practical in these cursed times. Romania needs a saviour, and I will be the one to liberate it into freedom. Humiliation of the mistrustful nobles was done successfully during his reigns. He managed to kill through impaling over 500 nobles, along with the entire families as well. He personally selected the brave soldiers for his personal army and maintained their loyalty by offering them not only money but lands and horses and gold. Eventually, Vlad became infamous for his cruel acts, and word got out to the Ottomans, and they saw it as a threat, so they started a war, invading against Vlad. At night, a messenger was sent in secret, and it was only his brother Rudu. Vlad greeted him with disgust. To the memory of our father, I have never betrayed our father. Besides, it wasn't for me, you still be rotting in that prison. I said, as an opportunity to return, I gave a tribute back to the Ottoman Empire. If you renounce his allegiance to the Sultan, I don't think you understand, you or your Ottoman Empire. I'm quite happy where I am, and I will defend our borders against all raids. There will be no more tribute. The Sultan was furious because they grew up together in the Ottoman Empire and was raised by them. He grew rebellious, so he decided to put an end to it. Delegated to have his most loyal men to go to Wallachia and plan Vlad's assassination. Then of course Vlad found out and impaled them, and their armies put together and washed his hands in their blood and also drank their blood. Vlad's reputation of Vlad the Impaler was a ruthless ruler, and they grew terrified of him, and so the legend begins. Well, that's quite a revengeful story, possibly one of the most bloodthirsty, gory ones I've done so far. I hope everybody enjoyed the story, and of course the research I did for it too. I would like to say a big happy Halloween from Atlas to you, and I hope you all have a great Hallows Eve. Now we are on our favourite part of where we finally create our vampire build, which is going to be awesome. It will be interesting to see of how our character is going to turn out. I'm also going to do a separate build for Vlad the Impaler, and of course Dracula as well. And I almost forgot, I would like to say a massive thank you to all supporters. I am very happy that Atlas is making progress, and we will continue to do these awesome characters as much as I can. Thank you for being part of it. Make sure you subscribe and so you can keep up with all my juicy updates. And also, if you know anybody that will be interested in these kind of videos and other characters that we can build on, let me know in the comments. I would love to know of the different ones we could do. But anyway, enough chit chat, let's go. Okay, and here we are. We are officially in our Skyrim creation menu. So so I think one of the best things we should do is, now obviously, like, you know, we should start off with the node, as we know. You know, a typical node we should go for, but I'm gonna go with something else though this time though. I'm gonna go for a more Imperial build, because there's like, yeah, because I think it's quite interesting, like, you know, so just bear with me, alright? So, as you can see, we are looking at the portrait of Vlad the Impaler, and I'm going to try and get it as good as I can, as we know, right? So, okay, so let's just go into it a minute, right? First of all, okay, we want to keep it as it is, but I'm going to slightly change his presence, just to see what it can actually offer. So, I'm just going to go have a little look at what I actually want to look for here. Hang on a minute. Yeah, now that looks kind of decent. Okay. Skin tone, as you can see, it's very light. Weight, I'm only going to put some slight weight, but not too much. Right, so okay. Right, first of all, alright, as we know, we should go into the, you know, we should do it in this order, right? But today, I'm going to do something a bit more different, though. Only because he has a bit of a, like, you know, a mustache and he has long hair. So we're going to go straight over to the long hair section, right? So basically, I want to change his hairstyle to long a minute. So I can only just calculate of how this build is going to go. Because a lot of the effect that I see of it is going to be based on a lot of his hair and his mustache, to be honest, though. Obviously going to be his main feature. So, okay. So as you can see, I went for this type of hairstyle, and then the facial hair. I'm gonna go for something. Okay, in case you're wondering what type of mod am I using for the beard, I'm using a mod called the Beards of Power. And honestly, as you can see, you can have all these different types of like beards, like, and it's a really must one to have to get that little bit of extra creativity, like, you know what I mean? You know, it helps. It really does help me with like building some of these, like. So hang on a minute. So right, I'm looking for something which is not quite there yet. Okay, then yes, but is there? Let me just see if there's another version like that. Maybe not. Right. So this, I think I'm gonna go with this version here, as you can see, because it's coming like across his face, just like is kind of like it. It's not exactly the same, but it's close enough, right? So obviously the hair color is gonna, I want it to be black, as you can see. Okay, now we'll go back to the beginning now, so then I can actually work around of how he's gonna look. Okay, so let's have a look at his complexion. So okay, I'm gonna give him a bit of complexion, obviously, like, you know. Nah, no dirt. Scars? No. I mean, that's entirely up to you what you do, like, you know. I'm just thinking of, like, you know, I'm gonna try and nail this as much as I can. War paint? No. War paint color, which is a no. So, right, let's go on to face. Right, his nose. His nose is almost quite there. But I'm gonna go through, like, the different types of ones we can get in a minute, just to see how... Yeah, I say something like that. So it's slightly long. Okay, so what we could do... So as you can see in the portrait, it's like way down onto his like mustache a little bit. Okay, I don't want it too down though, because I don't want it to look silly, if you know what I mean. So something in between about there. So as you can see, it's just touching his mustache, as you can see in the picture. Yeah. So okay. Okay, nose length. Judging by the angle of this, his nose looks pretty long. It doesn't have to be exactly accurate, but it's going to be it's going to be pretty close anyway, like, you know. Okay, so now we have gone into jaw width. Right, I'm going to bring this in just a little bit here, because his jawline seems to be, like, nice. Quite of a funny shape, his jawline is. Okay. Alright, jaw height, I say we bring it up to about here. Jaw forwards. Okay. Keep it to about there. Okay, I'm just looking at it. Okay, cheekbone height. Okay, I say he's got quite high cheekbones. To about here. You just keep it to about there, so it's just slightly over. So okay, cheekbone width. Let me just see a minute. Alright, so that's to widen it a little bit. Yeah, I guess we could slightly like widen them just a bit. So let's just let's just have it somewhere in the middle of about there. Cheek color. Okay. Yeah, I suppose we could give him some slight darkness so that, you know, due to the shading of his hair, that's in alignment with his mustache, as you can see. So we can give him like a kind of like an already bit of an edged look, like, if you know what I mean. Right, laugh lines. Yeah, most definitely. We're gonna give him some laugh lines. So yes, most definitely for this type of build. Yeah, to about there. Right, cheek color. Yeah. Obviously, because it's like with the shading done with alignment of his beard. His mustache. Okay, nose color. I say we leave his nose exactly as it is. So okay, chin color. I say we just keep it as it is. But then you could add like a little bit of shading, I suppose. Maybe just a bit. Nah, maybe not. Let's just keep it as it is for now. Okay, let's just keep it like that. Right, eye shape. I say he's got kind of wide eyes, so let's just see a minute. Alright, somewhere between, would I say, Sorry about that, I just wanted to just see a minute what type of eye shapes they've got. So I just want to get this nailed. I'm just thinking a minute. Yeah, I suppose we could go for that one. But then they are slightly oval. Okay, I made my mind up this time, so we're just going to go for this shape, alright? Because this shape looks good. Right, eye colour. Right. I think we're just going to make his eye colour like, obviously like with, say, something like this colour looks good. So it's brown, I suppose. Okay. Right, eye width. So we're going to bring this slightly up, I'd say, to about here. So his eye is obviously quite further up his face, as you can see. Right, his eye width, I say we're going to pull them just slightly in apart. So just here, but don't do any more than that. Right, eye depth, I say he's got quite the eye depth, I'd say, just a bit. But we want him to go in slightly in, so we can give him that like 4 or 5 o'clock look in a minute, like, because I know it's coming up. So okay, eyeliner. Yeah, eyeliner is definitely going to be a must with this. I know it doesn't seem to show it in the portrait, but I think it'll give it a nice extra bit of effect though. Like, it'll come into play a bit later, I think, judging for what I'm looking at this. Okay. Let me just see a minute. Yes, that's perfect. Right. Eye tint. Yes, I say it's a must. Oh, yes, look at that. It's already played into effect with it. It's already like synced in with like the other modifications that we've already added. Like, it already looks good so far, right? But I'm not finished yet, as you can see. We're going to go through every single bit of modification on this, so let's just see. Right, his eyebrows are like rounded up in there, so something. Right, so we're looking like, yes. But then, I don't know, maybe the thick eyebrow version could be good, like something like that would be good, but it's not exactly the same. So, like, that's close enough, but I'm going to go with this one though. This looks good, and then what we're going to do is then we're going to raise these up, bang, like that, and then the width, then we're going to bring them slightly in, so he looks like he's kind of like frowning a little bit. Just wants to see a minute of how will exactly, like, okay, that's too wide, so we want to bring it somewhere so it's like quite wide in, like that, so he gives him like gives him that look, like, if you know what I mean. So right, brow forward. I say yeah, let's bring it slightly forward a bit. So about there. Okay, now we're on to mouth shape. Now, judging by his mouth, I'd say, like, he's got like a bit of a lip forward, I'd say, according to his portrait that I'm looking at. Okay. Okay, to be honest, I think I'm just gonna go for just normal ones, alright? So his mouth height, is gonna have to be right up to his mustache, as you can see. So something like that, and then I can go back to the lip part then of where exactly this is gonna like portray, like, you know. So it's the thing is though, see. So okay, maybe I need to bring it down just a little bit to about here. Maybe so to about there. Maybe I need to change it again because it's not quite sinking in. Let's just keep the mouth shape normal. It doesn't exactly have to be like it, like, you know. But like I said, it's just, don't forget, this is Skyrim, like, you know, compared to like, you know, some of the versions that come across and stuff like that, like, you know. But like I said, I'm gonna get this very, very close indeed. Right, I say we bring this forward to about here. Sorry, I'm going to go back onto the mouth height in a minute, so I just want to just get this right. So I just want to see how it's going to look. Right, better still. I'm gonna have it in the middle, actually. Sorry about if I keep changing the settings, but I just wanted to get it right, that's all. So, you don't have to copy out, like, everything that I do. You can just keep it the way I had it before. Or you can just copy what I'm doing at the moment. So, okay, so as you can see, I just left it on that one, and the middle, and then forward then, I can just slightly just bring it in so it's just there. Okay, so these are the settings I've got for it so far, alright? Right, now as for this chin, I'd say we need to bring this chin a little bit in, chin length. I'm going to bring it slightly up, and then chin forward then, so we can have his, okay, like, yeah, okay. Now as you can see, it's kind of like brought it forward a little bit. So about there, and then obviously because of his lips, yes. Okay, he looks great. Wow, he does look like him just a bit, like, I gotta admit. That looks amazing. So let me just go back over the hair color again, just to make sure that it's correct. So no. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, wow. I'm pretty happy with that, because as you can see, it does kind of look like him. It does, and I'm pretty impressed. You can see, like, you know, in Skyrim, he would have probably looked like this, like, you know. But I say it's good. I'm impressed with it, like, you know. I think he's pretty much done now, I'd say. But we could, like, you know, just fiddling around with the, like, you know. But yeah, I say he's pretty much done. I'm just having a little look a minute to see how else it would look. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay. All right. So I say he's pretty much done now. I say he is anyway. Brilliant. Okay. So he's done. Right, for the second build, I'm going to do his fictional version, which is going to be Dracula. So we're going to go on to that right now, okay? So I'll see you on the next one now. Okay, and here's our character build 2. So the Dracula I'm going to be making is going to be the one. It's going to be Gabriel from the from Castlevania 2, from the Lords of Shadow. So he's the one I'm going to be making for this though. Now mostly for him, I'm going to say it's going to be the suit that he wears, his armor. I think it's going to actually like pull it off for this one. So obviously I'm going to go back with Imperial again this time though, because I want to like nail this. So just bear with me, right, because I've got a very, very good feeling about this, alright? So okay, let's go into this. I'm going to swap it over to this one here. I'm going to make sure he's going to be quite bulky for this. It's only just like as much as I can get, as you can see. Because you'll see now, because when he puts the, when I get him to put the suit on, so I'm just visualizing, it's going to look really nice with it. So, okay. Alright then, oh, should we give him, oh, I almost forgot as well, skin. Sorry about that. So just have the skin about here, and then we can go back on. Right, as for complexure, I'm not gonna give him one. I'm just gonna leave him as he is. No, keep all that exactly as it is. Then we're gonna go into the nose. Let's just see a minute. I'm just gonna have a little look at the noses that they provide a minute, just to see of how this is gonna look. So okay, let's just see a minute. Just bear with me a minute, because I want to like get this right. Not quite. Just looking on the side of the, because it's almost not exactly the same. Okay, I'm gonna go with this nose here, because we're gonna like modificate it as we go along, like, you know. Okay, nose height, so I'm gonna bring this so it's just about here, I'd say. Alright, nose length, I'm gonna bring this slightly in, just a little bit. Okay, right. Jaw width. I say his jaw is pretty... maybe not so out, but I want it to be more in than anything. Not too much in, so we're just gonna give it just a little bit there. Jaw height. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna drop this down just a little bit. So it's like to about there. Okay. Okay then, so then the next one, jaw forwards, I'm gonna bring that up, so it's just there. Cheekbone height, I say, yeah, he's got quite high cheekbones, I'd say, so let's just bring this up just a little bit more. Cheekbone width. Okay, maybe not so much, so just bring that into about here. Right, cheek color. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a must with this. So when this long hair comes in place, it'll give that little bit of like shadow, because when his hair is like in front of him, like, so I guess it's more realistic, I suppose. Alright, so laugh lines is a must with this. So okay, so keep it to about... I'm going to keep it to about there. Right, cheek color is a must with this. Okay, yeah, to about there, as you can see, so it gives that slight bit of shading. Right, nose color. No, we're just gonna leave it as it is. Alright. Alright, chin. Yeah, we could give it a little bit. Neck. Nah, keep it as it is. Forehead. Yeah, I say we could do a bit of his forehead for that bit of shading, like, if you know what I mean. So you'll see what I mean now. So I'm just gonna... So as you can see, it goes to like very dark here, but I want it to about there, to about here, I'd say. So it's just a little bit of shading, but not too much. Okay, right, eye shape now. So okay, so his eyes are more like slinted in this picture. So as you can see, so it's just to about this to about there, I'd say. Okay, let me just see a minute. Okay, now that's not bad. Hang on. Yeah, I say we could give him like kind of this look here, because that looks great. Okay, so right. Eye color. I know, like, you know, his eye should be red, but here's the thing. Though. I mean, you can have them red if you want to, but I'm just gonna go with a more basic color though, like brown or something like that. So okay, so maybe not. Let me just see if there's a red a minute. Not quite. That looks dark. Okay, there's like a bloodshot red, so I guess we could go with that one, I suppose. Okay, okay, the next one now is going to be the height now. So okay, so obviously we're gonna bring this right up here, and then the width, then I'm gonna bring them slightly in, but not too much. Maybe slightly out, maybe not so wide out. So I'm just gonna have them in slightly like that. Right, eye depth. I definitely say he's got quite a bit of eye depth, but I want them to come inward, like, you know. So okay. Eyeliner, I say yes. It's definitely gonna be a must with this. So okay, so to give it a little bit of extra effect, like eyeshadow is definitely gonna be a must with this. Okay, eye tint, definitely. We're gonna have the whole, oh, brilliant, look at that. Yes, brilliant. But bear with me, right, I'm not finished yet. Nowhere near finished yet, so I'm just still exploring through the modifications. Okay, right. As you can see, like, I'm not gonna go with that one. let's just keep going a minute. I say we could go with this one actually. This one here. Right, his brow height. I'm gonna bring it slightly, maybe slightly down. Okay. Brow forwards. Nah, maybe not so forwards. Just bring it so in. Okay, so the next one, I'm gonna say, let's just keep going a minute. Okay, so like that, and then mouth shape then, I say we're gonna go with a normal shape. Okay, so, no, maybe not so much that one. No, nope. We're gonna need something so it's just a bit normal. Okay, I guess we could go with that one, I suppose. Right, mouth height. I said we're gonna bring this slightly up. Sorry about that, I just want to change it again because it's not quite right yet. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. This is my final decision. No, I'm definitely gonna go with that one. Alright. Mouth height this time. Alright, bring this slightly. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the middle here. Alright, chin. Alright, okay. I say to about there. It's about here. Chin forwards. Yeah, I say we slightly bring that out to about there. Right, lip color. I mean, his lips are grey, pretty much, right? Or it looks grey. So I'm just gonna leave them as they are, to be honest. So now, what the extra effect's gonna be? I'm hoping his head is gonna pull it off, because this is what's missing from this. Oh, yes, that is the one. Yes, brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Right, so this is gonna be it now, I suppose. Alright, so obviously this next one, let's have a look at the facial hair a minute. Right, so he's got quite a stubble, like, kind of like a stubble beard, like, you know. Something, that's too much. Yeah, I suppose we could go with, like, something like that, for example. Okay, alright, let's just make his hair black a minute. Yes, okay. Alright, so that's not bad. Okay, let me just go back over the... No, we don't want them. No, I'm looking for something that's gonna... I don't want it to, like, as you can see. So, okay, I guess that could do it, I suppose. But then I don't want, like, too much like that. So I just want something in between, like here. So once again, I'm using the Beards of Power, as you can see, like, you know. So I'm just gonna go back over the stuff like that, like, you know. I'm just gonna go back over the eyebrow a minute, because I really want to get this right. Okay, so I'm just seeing a minute, what exactly does it look like? Okay, brow height. Let me just see what ones they've got a minute. Sorry about that if I keep changing it. Something like that. I should be bring it down. Okay. Yeah, because I think his suit is gonna pretty much pull this off, to be honest, though. So I say he's pretty much done, I'd say, for now. But maybe, just hang on a minute, just one sec. Wait there. Yeah. Sorry about that, I'm just seeing him in there. Yeah. Nose type. You just keep going through this a minute. Sorry about that, I just want to get this right. Yeah, okay, right, I'm happy with that. Right. Right, that's way too long. Okay, bring that in. Right, I'm just gonna go back over to the brow part a minute. Nah, just stick with that. Yeah. Okay, he's done. Alright, I'm done now, okay? Alright, so this is going to be the Dracula, so I think the suit and stuff like that is definitely going to go well with him. It's definitely going to be a definite must, so I'm just going to see what the other style of hair is going to look. Actually, no, not so much that. Nah, I'm just gonna keep his hair long, I think. Brilliant, he's done. Okay? Right, so let's do this. So Vlad the Impaler, change over to Dracula.
I smell mortal blood.
That's all you've got!